So this is Suzanne Akhtar winner if a child protection fund in the Punjab area or Pakistan, and we are studying the new aspects of the neuroanatomy. So let's have an overview of the cross-sectional neuroanatomy of brain. Types of anatomy. Microscopic anatomy, histology, systematic development, command, measured vision, regional systematic surface anatomy, clinical plant, MRI scans. So cross-section anatomy of brain, cross-section anatomy of brain. Let's discuss have an overview of the cross-sectional anatomy of the brain. Sectional anatomy of brain, all parts. So it is the complete overview of the cross-sectional anatomy of the brain, and all the major organs of the brains are discussed here. Let's also have a video overview related to what the cross-sectional anatomy really is. Cross-sectional anatomy of brain. Anatomy of the brain. Let's dive deeper and further into the chapter later. What the thing is really about. Meninges verticals and cerebrospinal fluid. Meninges verticals and cerebrospinal fluid. Meninges. MENGIN. Meninges. Spinal cord. Meninges. Ventricles and ventricles. Cerebrospinal fluid of brain. First discuss the meninges of the brain. Meninges are the protective layers around the brain. Meninges are three protective layers: dura mater, arachnoid matter, pia mater, surrounding brain and spinal cord, providing cushion and barrier for the central nervous system, holding cerebrospinal fluid and brain vessels. From the innermost layer there are dura mater, web-like arachnoid matter, pia matter, which closely follows the brain color. Three layers function: protection, support, cerebrospinal fluid circulation. So basically it acts as a cushion for the brain. Hello guys, how are you? So we are following the Suzanne Akhtar winner Rifat Child Protection Program in the Punjab area of Pakistan, and we are overlooking the basic neuroanatomy, the basic facts in the neuroanatomy. So let's discuss. In this course, we will discuss the cross-section anatomy of the brain. So let's start. Cross-section anatomy of brain. Let's start the cross-section anatomy of the brain. So it is the basic view of the brain. It is the cross-section structure of the brain, the dividing of the brain into the two parts and the structures within it. So let's have some more detailed video of it. Let's talk about this video of the brain, parts of the brain. So it is the cross section of the brain. So let's discuss the meninges of the brain. Meninges in the brain. Meninges of brain. Ventricles. Meninges we have discussed previously. Ventricles of brain. The brain are network of interconnected fluid-filled cavities, two lateral, third and fourth within the brain that produce, circulate, and house cerebrospinal fluid. providing cushioning, buoyancy, and nutrient-based transport for the brain and spinal cord. So let's discuss ventricles. Ventricles of the brain. So these are the ventricles of the brain that provide support to the cerebrospinal fluid. After it is the blood supply of the brain, spinal cord. Let's first discuss the blood supply of brain. Blood supply of brain. Blood supply of brain. That is the blood supply of the brain. Let's have some more detailed video. Blood supply of the brain. So the red is the oxygenated blood and the other dark below is the deoxygenated blood. So in this way the heart pumps the blood back and forth to the brain. The oxygenated and deoxygenated blood back and forth to the all the major organs, parts and systems of the brain. In this way the heart pumps the blood to all the major organs of the brain. Let's see some other diagram. Blood supply of brain. So it is as we can see. Anterior cerebral artery, ophthalmic supply, carnivorous supply, internal carotid artery, posterior communicating artery, middle cerebral artery. So these are all the arteries, the major arteries of the brain that provide the blood to all the parts of the brain in the manner to make the functioning of the brain properly. Spinal cord, autonomic nervous system. So let's discuss the different parts of the spinal cord. it was the spinal cord. It is the autonomic nervous system of the brain that supplies to the eye, glands, heart, bronchial stomach, small intestine, large intestine, ductus deferens, that is the part of the urinary system and bladder. These are the tracts of the spinal cord. Later we will discuss the next chapters. Let's donate as much as you can for the Suzanne Akhtar Veena Rifat Child Protection Fund in the Punjab area of Pakistan. Thanks a lot.